Everybody, how are you guys doing? Oh my goodness. So great to be inside the YouTube studios hanging out with you. How are you all doing? This is going to be a quick one. My suddenly how it manifested. Guys, let me tell you something. Sometimes people get caught up with the word manifest and all of these things, but I'm going to tell you something. When you think of something long enough, when you pray on it, when you are quiet about it, when you just leave it and allow things to be, they will pop up. They will show up because it will and it must. So, welcome on in, everybody. It's great having you here. And I'm just going to take these few minutes just to talk to you about where you are and how things are going for you. Because sometimes, too, when we see the things that we've been dreaming about, the things that we've been praying about, when it doesn't happen, it's almost as if, you want to give up. And sometimes that's going to require you to step back a little bit. It's going to require you to take moments of solitude where you are just going to say, I am just going to take moments where I don't have to harp on this thing, where I don't have to be so anxious about it, where I don't even need to be obsessing about that thing. Because sometimes the thing you want out of life, if you are obsessing for that one thing, it can end up being too much. Not even too much. It can end up being too much. And that, of course, takes too much of our time. Yep, too much of our time. That's the one time I will say it. When we just allow things to preoccupy our minds. And also, too, it's about the information that you're taking in. So, in order for you to manifest, like we say, greatness or the peace or the thing in your life that you want, you have to be careful about the information that you're taking in. Today someone asked me a question and they felt that they were just spending too much time taking in the news. And that's so much. You're taking in whatever it is that they want to tell you. And as you notice all of these different stations, I call them, the one, two, three, the ones with the three letters. They all have their different agenda. So if there's something you want to manifest in your life and you're listening to negativity and you're listening to things that doesn't serve you, then you're taking in more of what others are telling you. So if you're one of those people, you're always watching the news, you're watching these different stations, you're to the left, to the right, you're here, you're there, you're taking in other people's opinion and what they want to spew. And then because you haven't taken time in that place, in that space where you can be quiet and listen to within. Like I said, whether it's prayer, whatever it is you need to do to listen and connect with the power that is within you, you can make some really amazing decisions. Do you always need to have somebody telling you what to think? It is a powerful thing when you are able to be quiet, when you are able to just take in all of this stuff with a grain of salt and then leave it be. Who said, turn the TV off, turn the TV off, right? The rapper said, turn it off, because that little box keeps you in a box. The thing about technology right now, you can get it on your phone, you can get it on your iPad, you can get it on your computer, you can listen to earbuds, you can, wherever you are on the plane, there's television there. There are things that's being done to keep you preoccupied, and then you're listening to all of that stuff, and your very own thoughts, your thoughts are being drowned out because you're listening to other stuff, to other people. My goodness. And so, this is where I'm saying it is okay to take a few minutes just for you. It is okay to say, you know what? I'm going to do something that's different and I'm going to take a break. And then I'm going to move into the place in the space where once I am in the quiet space, sometimes we call it the secret space, right? Once you're in that space, and you spend a few minutes and maybe an hour or maybe a little bit more time, and you start to do that, then something inside of you will click. If you ever need the answer to a problem or an issue that you're having, take a few minutes, take about half hour, take 15 minutes and just be quiet. My question to you is this: are you able to be quiet? Are you able to put the phone away? Are you able to take those 15 minutes just for you? The 15 minutes where you can breathe, the 15 minutes where you can be. This may not be for everybody, but somebody will hear this. And it's really important how you start your day. When you start your day, usually sometimes the first thing you'll reach for is the phone. What if you keep the phone outside the room? What if you have a different alarm system? I have one of those wind up clocks that I have to put the batteries in, right? Some people say, oh, the ticking will make so much noise. Or you could have one of those digital clock radios that you could set your alarm. Something a little bit different, because what's happening? Your phone is so much distraction. I read somewhere they were saying the light from the phone is almost like having a certain amount of caffeine. And I'm like, what? Because have you ever been on the phone so much you're scrolling to almost your face hurt? Because sometimes too, we are so focused on the noise, so we cannot even manifest our own greatness. My goodness. Hey, hi, come on in. Diamond Mills, thank you for being here. Final Destination. Hey, Diamond. Hey, thank you guys for being here. We're talking about manifesting your suddenly, things that you can manifest just by being quiet. Just 15 minutes of your own time when you start your day. And you need to tell yourself, I do have the time. You're going to have to claim that time. Sometimes telling yourself that you don't have enough time, that's a story that you're telling yourself. So, in order for you to manifest the greatness that's in you, and if you agree with me, drop a one in the content. In order to manifest the greatness in you, it's going to require you to claim that time, and it is your time. We are always watching these different stations with these three different letters, and each and every one of them have their own agenda, and that's being spewed into your ears. I'm not saying that you can't listen to know what's happening in the news, but it's up to you how much you're going to take in. Half the time, they're already repeating what they told you, and then they're telling you what you should hear based upon what they've already told you. When you are able to claim your time, thank you, Diamond. When you're able to claim your Diamond Mills, thank you for coming. And you can always come back and just make sure that you comment on my videos. It will be over in the live section. Definitely, I'll come over and say hello, and then other people who come on will see who you are. And that's the thing, claim back your time. Be careful what's being spewed into your ears. And I'm going to tell you, when you travel outside of where you are, I'm here in the States, and when I just came back from Japan, right? And so when you're traveling elsewhere, you're not so bombarded with all of that stuff. You sometimes may even get news from different parts of the world, so you know what else is happening. And so what I'm saying to you is this: be ye mindful. Be ye mindful of what you're listening in and what you're taking in, because people will want to tell you how to think and how to show up. You still want to reserve that power that is within you, the power that is from the source that is within you. I'm not telling anybody what to believe or who to believe in. But there's a power that is within us. We think we only have these five senses, when in fact we've been given so much more. And have you ever thought about it and say something, I should have listened? Had I listened to myself, or my mind told me, don't go down that street? Or sometimes you might have been delayed. If you're ever delayed, take a deep breath and take it for what it is, because you never know. And sometimes you too have been driving and then you see something and you were like, That was a few minutes. Had I left before, you will never know. I'm going to tell you something that happened some time ago. Hi, Cherish Church. Bless you. Thank you for coming in. We're manifesting. We're talking about manifesting, which is the power, the source of God that's within us. And then if we are quiet, we are able to go to that secret place. We are able to go to a place where we're quiet. There's just too much going on. We need to know how to shut out all of the noise, right? That's right, Diamond. You're welcome. Learn to shut out all of the noise. It is just too much. And I'm telling you, when you travel and you go to another country, all the stuff that's happening over here, you're not even seeing all of that. You also get exposure to other news, other things that's going on in the world. Because sometimes, too, people want to tell you what to think. And of course, we know the almighty dollar, as they call it, it talks. We're seeing it playing out right now. We're seeing it playing out right now. And so sometimes too, you don't have to always choose to give an opinion. People are spewing their opinions about what's going on all over the internet. I'm not saying to be quiet when we see injustice, but sometimes there are people who are out there, they are instigators. They are instigated argument. They're instigated engagement. They're instigating so many things. We see it right here on this app. We see it right here. For people who understand how this works, it works with engagement. Be still and know that I am God. Absolutely. So when I talk about manifesting and the power that's within us, we need to take charge of that power and say, I'm taking these 15 minutes. I am claiming my time. There's no such thing that I do not have enough time. We all get the same 24 hours. It is how we choose to utilize them. And so sometimes it happens too when you are distracted. I had a conversation with someone and they're saying, it's just so hard because they cannot focus. And I remember someone saying to me, like, I'd have all day, and at the end of the day, I'm exhausted, especially if you're working from home. That's a new thing. That's a new form of discipline, right? It's a new form of discipline when you have all of that time, especially as entrepreneurs, when you have all of that time, and then you find yourself so distracted. I've had that happen to me that I'm on the computer and then I have one window open, a browser as we call it, browser one, open up. And then the phone will pop and you feel like you have to stop and you have to look at that message. And then something popped up and all the important things that you needed to have done, they're not completed because we are distracted. And so some people say, "Oh, I need medication for it, or I need to what do they call it? To do other things for that, whatever is needed." And I'm not saying that it isn't real, because it is. But there are those of us at this particular point when it is, listen, I need to figure out on three things I need to do. So how do we claim this back when we are suddenly starts to happen, right? And we want to claim all of that in our lives and say, I want to put all that distraction to the side. How do we start our day? You claim those first 15 minutes, they are your time. But I got the kids and so forth. Whatever you need to do to claim that 15 minutes, it is non-negotiable. That is your time to be silent, to be still. And there's so much power in silence. There's so much power in stillness. And then the next 15 minutes, if you wish to take that for your prayer is good. I had a young lady who told me she would be on a prayer call for 2 hours. And then she said she would be her day. And I said, you can't blame it on the prayer call. 15 to 20 minutes, if you so choose, that's good. I'm not telling you to curb your time from that, but God is not a God of confusion, right? So if you feel that you have to be on and people are talking all sorts of things, what is it that you need to get in those 15, 20 minutes or even those 30 minutes? Even if you choose to do that, and that is your time, a powerful, disciplined time. This is what you need. Oh, if the Spirit moves, you have those 15, 20, or those 30 minutes. And you have other times during the day. And so when you choose to do that, then you have your time where you journal. Some people will listen to an ebook. Some people will be on their bike because you need to move your body. You need movement in all of this. Okay? You need movement in all of this. So, if you need movement in all of this during the day, this time is for you. And Diamond, this is for, I only talk about I only talk about powerful, positive things on this cast. So, if you need your parent to listen in, that's what they are going to listen to. It's going to be inspirational, it's going to be motivational, and it's educational when we're talking about personal and professional development for those. And if you want, I really ask people to be 18 and over. So I don't know what an 8-year-old would be doing on this. This is about positive things, nothing else. And so if it's not for you, then I understand. I thank you for being here. And please, you need to have a parent with you. Okay. So this is what we're talking about how to be positive and how to claim the time for yourself. This is what this is about. Spend time where you are in that space just for you, where you're listening to something that's going to motivate, inspire, and move you to the next level. You can listen to your audiobook or watch something positive here on YouTube while you're on your bicycle. You're moving your body, and it's about your mind, your soul, your body, and your spirit. And then, of course, you're setting your intention. Set your intention for the day. Set your intention for the day. At least 3 things that you are going to do. Set your intention for the day. And what you do, you tackle the hardest thing first. So this is how I know our suddenly is here. This is how I know that you can powerfully change things just like that because you are making a decision. Now, some people may not be able to watch this because they need to look, they need to see. But there are times when you listen, you hear amazing, you hear powerful things. And so I want you to be able to connect with the power that's within you. And whatever that thing is that you pray about, whatever that thing is that you fast and you pray about, that thing is for you. And why? Because it must be done. God's will must be done. And so I don't need all the noise. I don't need all the pictures. You want to see some of the stuff, go back to the other lives. You'll see me in Japan. You'll see me at Tokyo Towers. And I have so much other stuff to bring in. But whenever I got an opportunity, I turn on this app and I talk into it. Because when you are in a place, in a space with people who are going to uplift you, people who are going to inspire you, people who are going to help move you to the next level, then you will see, I don't need to see everything. Yes, you want to engage with people, you want to see their smiles, you want to do all of that. But this is audio only. This is just listening to the powers that's within me. And then I'm going to be thankful and I'm going to be grateful. And so if you carve out that time, that 15 minutes during the day, or you may think you don't have it, or 2 minutes off your time from your lunch break, you don't have to answer every call. You don't have to answer every text. Sometimes you just need those few minutes in order for you to breathe, because you can manifest that greatness in you. Even if it's just say, I want the peace. I want peace on the job, peace in my home. And so that's the thing I want. And so in order for you to attract those things in your life, that's who and what you need to be. Today I just need to be peace. Today I need to be joy. Today I just to be where I'm not listening to all this negative stuff. So on social media or in the news, and I don't need to see all of that stuff, because then we become desensitized. We're seeing people who are taken down in front of our very own eyes. And guys, it's not a movie. It is real. But when you become desensitized and you're seeing all of this stuff all the time, it starts to happen. It's Marvella. God bless you. God bless you. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, we become desensitized because we're seeing these things and we are not going into the secret place. So when I say manifest, I'm talking about the thing that we say we want in our lives. We want, as you say, the glory of God within us, the peace of God that is within me. We want to see all the time. You don't need to look at me. My pictures are there. But I want people to start to listen. I've done radio for over 25 years. And one of the things that's powerful about audio, what's powerful about it, it allows you to use your imagination. I would have people call me from different walks of life. And I used to do overnight night radio. And so I would have the cab drivers who would call and listen in, the nurses, the security guards. I had all types of people, as they say, people who were shut in, people working nights, the Uber drivers, not just the taxi drivers, the Uber drivers, the bus drivers, people, just people, different people working different shifts. And because that's all they have, they weren't able to drive and watch the television, right? They would listen in. So sometimes we need to go back to the space where we're just listening, that we don't have to always have an opinion, that we're typing something, that we're saying something, right? We need to get back into that place, into that space. Because I'm telling you, when you travel and you go elsewhere in the world, all this stuff that's put in front of us right now, that's not at the top of their agenda. That's not about the top of their on the top of their list. People are going about their business. They are living their lives. And sometimes we think the issues that pop up, if you notice, every 24, every 48, try it, every 48 to 36 hours, something new. It's a new thing that pops up. Because what? It needs to keep you busy. It's keeping your mind busy because a lot of us don't know how to turn it off or tone it down. And my challenge to you is this. Try to tone it down. Try to turn it down a little bit. Sometimes just to listen. I love the fact when I'm driving, I'm able to listen to the people that I listen to. Because sometimes when you're focused, I'm focused on this thing, I'm focused on that. There are many times I just like to listen and I'm hearing things that I might have missed when I was watching it live. When I go back and I listen again, I said, oh my God, what a powerful point. What a powerful point that's being made right now. I did not hear that before. So we can manifest the things we want in our life. And I'm not talking about materialistic things. Oh, I want the car, I want the house, I want this. It's the simple things in life that I'm choosing my suddenly. I'm choosing that this is what I want. And sometimes too, when we talk so much, we'll talk ourselves out of things. My recent trip was not a trip that I planned. It just so happened that, the other person couldn't go. And I'm like, of course. What? Baby, I'm there. All right. At first it was just like, I don't know. And I'm just like, hey, it was something that I wrote down back in 2016 to go to Japan. It was 2016 I wrote that down. It's not that I couldn't have gone, but it was just not the opportunity at that time. And I've been to many countries and different continents during that time. And that happened. And within the space of a week, I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And so that's why I'm saying sometimes we talk ourselves out of it. We don't even remember. We don't remember the things that we've written. We sometimes don't remember the things we have said because we are so preoccupied. We preoccupied with everything else that's going on, other people's business. I'm not saying that you can't have compassion or, things that's happening, but then other people have their agenda. There's so many people with different agendas. So many people that can take one situation and they spin it. When they call it a spin, it's spin into something else and something else and something else. And then you forgot about the person. You forgot, they sometimes forget about the lives, that these are real lives. But once again, we become desensitized to what we hear, and so much of this, so much of that, seen so much of that, that you forget about the human being. You get about that person. So I'm saying all of this for you to claim your space, your peace of mind, and learn to listen and go within yourself. And so that the power that God has given to all of us, the power of discernment, it is very powerful. Too many of us are not using that. Too many people are not using their spirit of discernment. Wow, that is so powerful for this. Need to get back to that. It is used especially medical professionals who are really in tune to what they're doing. That is something a lot of us are given. People will say your medical intuition. I call it the discernment. I've always called it that, the spirit of discernment, that if somebody comes into that emergency room or that ICU, there is a connection. When you are truly connected and you are not fatigued, you will know before a patient goes bad. We call it, when you're watching television, you hear them running around calling code blue, code blue. It is a real thing. I remember many years ago, many years ago. Ooh, this had to have been, oh Lord, I'm going to date myself. I think it was in the 90s, guys. So I'm going to tell you about it. And I went in and I took report from a patient, and he was sitting up at the edge of the bed. I still remember what he looked like. And he didn't look good. And he said he just wanted to stand up. Now, there are certain medical emergencies, cardiac wise, when they're going bad, they just want to stand up. And there's a name for it. I'm not going to go into all of that, but he stood up. He wanted to stand up, and I'm like, it's not a good idea. He said, no, I have to stand up. And the look on his face, and up to this day, I still remember him. And he stood up. He was rather tall, big gentleman. And listen to Siri over here, listening all up in my business, right? And he went limp. And I was facing like to the wall he went limp on my hip. I had to use to put him back in the bed to try and but it was a weight. You ever hear when them say dead weight? Serious stuff right there, right? And that weight went limp and everything to get him back. And I was able to hit the button and I start yelling to get him back in the bed. And there's a thing that's called sudden death. It's real. It's very real. And that weight that hit me was not like any other weight, okay? But I remember that, and it was just like that. That happened. But even going in, sometimes when you're even going into work, you will, I don't know how to explain it. Many from the nursing field will tell you either they will dream their shift, and it's very true, or you just know that I need to be on point with something. And that's why always when I go in, I made sure the bed is locked, all of those. You just never know. And it was just suddenly like that. Call the code, did what we needed to do, right? But I'm telling you, so one has to start to go deep within. Just get back into that quiet, secret space, because people are just exhausted. We are exhausting our time. We're exhausting the gift that God has given to us. And I think if more people were to spend those quiet times, things will be different. Don't be so quick to put out a statement out there. Don't be so quick to say, I'm taking sides. Remember, there's always a human being, there's always a person at the end of all of this. And there's nothing wrong with you having compassion. And there's nothing wrong with you having difference of opinions. And that's why I'm saying it's not so quick to have a response, because everything will reveal itself in time. God has given us those gifts, and it is up to us. It is really up to us how we are going to use it. So everybody suddenly is there. Everybody suddenly is there. What can you manifest in your life if you chose to just be quiet and find yourself in that secret place? What if you just choose to not have an opinion, or when people try to antagonize you, or when people throw shade at you? You don't have to answer to all of that, because you have the power. You're more powerful. Your silence is more powerful, and you speak when it's time, and you be clear, and you stand fully on what needs to be said. And then you go about your business, because I'm telling you, there's power in that silence. And so then you can manifest, you can have that peace in your life because you are making that decision. And there are more people who are like you. There are more like minds. There are more people who can say, you know what, we are going to pray and we're going to touch and agree on that thing. We're going to touch and agree on that thing. That's that power. That's that power that no doctor or scientist, they can't even, I'm not even going to use the word explain. The kids would say, explain that to me. They cannot even explain it, because I've seen some of the most brilliant surgeons or neurologists and cardiologists and all of them. There's certain things that they themselves cannot explain that is greater than you and me. So not everybody knows everything. Not everything needs an answer. Not everything has an answer. My God. It is time for you to claim what's yours. And like I said, it must be done. It will happen in due time. So many things right now are sitting on the table, on or in a file on our computer, right? Something that needs to be completed. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Thank you for tapping the screen. Thank you for giving me a thumbs up, your super chat, or membership. All of that stuff is there. I'm just talking about the good stuff. But right now, I'm saying there are things right now that quite a few of us have. And when I say us, it's me. We have those books that's on the shelf. We have those books that are in the file. There was something I was just looking at, something I was like, oh my gosh, that's a service that I can offer through my business. What skills, what gifts, what talents do you have that because you're so preoccupied, you haven't paid attention to it? And that's where accountability comes in. Accountability is huge. Over the years in my life, I've been able to accomplish, maybe I shouldn't even name this manifest as accomplish, but there were things that I was able to accomplish in my life because I had mentorship, I had coaching, I had somebody who held me accountable at the highest level. Because there's so many things. It's not like you can't do it and I can't do it, or we don't have the capacity to do it. We just need to know why it wasn't done. Like what happened? And this is what, and when you have somebody that holds that space for you, baby, it makes a huge difference. It makes a difference. Things that I've been able to accomplish, and then I accomplish, and I'm like, what? No, what? But it wasn't so easy. There were certain little things that could stop you in your track. Little things that can stop you in your track because of distraction, because of you were so preoccupied that that thing you needed to do hasn't been done. And so even the suddenly moments right now, I'm like, I'm going to launch this book before the end of the year. I too need to be held accountable because there are people right now, I'm being held accountable as their coach for the things that they are looking to accomplish. And there are different things too that can have you preoccupied. Preoccupied. Sometimes too, you may need to take care of your health. You may feel like, oh, I wake up, I don't have any energy, I'm just tired all the time. Sometimes you just need to say, oh, it's time for a checkup. Let me go see my blood work. Let me go see what my iron levels look like. Maybe that's why I feel like eating ice all the time, or I'm just so tired, or I'm so exhausted. And that's, one of the things that I'm not giving medical advice here, but when your iron level is low, all sorts of things, are happening. There are changes in your body. Women, the menopause and perimenopause, all of these things are going on. And so you may not know, it's like, why don't I have, like I used to? Why don't I feel like myself anymore? I could say I'm going to do something and I'm going to do it, but this time I'm just not connected. That's when you need to take a pause and say, let me put me first. Let me take care of me. Goodness, taking care of everybody else. Wow. Well, I'll say this. Thank you guys for listening in. If you've gotten thus far, I'm going to say drop me a yellow heart. If you've gotten thus far up to this point, you could do that. For those of you on the replay, definitely. Once again, sometimes we just need to listen. You don't have to see everything all the time. It's like getting back to old radio, podcasts here. People are telling me, I'm watching podcasts and I'm like, why am I seeing people? I guess that's podcasts, right? But I like the old fashioned way. I like the ways of when we're able to listen and use our imagination and just to still be a part of something. And so we're talking about manifesting the peace, the greatness within us, in our lives, in our relationships, how we show up during the day. This morning I was watching a video of this guy. He's always, sharing time with his grandma. And he went by the grandma house and grandma was making her bed. And he said to her, he has the video because that's part of it. He said, Grandma, you make your bed every day? And she said, yes. And he said, can I help you? And she said, no, because you can't do what I do. And then she had a stick. It's a smoothing stick, I guess they call it. And she was smoothing out the sheets and she was making her bed. And not until she was done, that is how she started her day. Grandma is 98 years old. She'll tell people she's 95 because she want to sound younger, but she doesn't need glasses to read or anything like that. Oh my gosh. It's an amazing family here on YouTube. I love them. And they're all over TikTok. And so the grandson was trying to help her. And in this 3 minute short, grandma made the bed. And once the bed was freshly made and looked beautiful, they went into the kitchen and grandma was going to make him a snack, his favorite food. But what that reminded me of, and what I'm talking about starting your day, I read somewhere that when you get up in the morning or whenever you get up and you make your bed, it is showing that you've already accomplished something. You've already accomplished something. And so you're making that bed as showing that, hey, I've accomplished the sleeping. I'm not going back in the bed. Now, sometimes I understand you open the windows, let it air out. If it's the day to change the sheets, you do whatever you need to do, and you do that for your bed. But once you've completed, and it's not every day like right away, oh, I'm going to change the sheets right now. You could pull the sheets off, do whatever you need to do. But I'm just saying, once you're done with that, and that has shown, even when I would work the night shift, always made sure my bed was made. And sometimes I would lay my pajamas out, especially if it was the winter time. Oh my gosh, I'm just looking to come home after my shift. I'll take my warm shower and put them on, and then I'll go to bed. That's how I would do it. I didn't care how cold it was outside. I just had to complete my day. And so even from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And that's even the same thing now when I go out in the evening, if I'm going to a dinner or something, I'm just looking forward to coming back home and that, listen, we're going to make sure we're going to bed, right? I have my stuff laid out. And so you're showing that, hey, this is what I want in my life. It's some form of, and people say you have these habits, right? And then that's how you create peace in certain things in your life. If you're going to bed a half hour before, you shouldn't even be listening to the news. Because many times it has happened where you're listening to the news and you're dreaming, I'm in the midst of it. I've left the television on, fall asleep on the sofa. I've done that. And like, oh my God, I'm in some kind of Western movie or something is happening, all of that. Because the subconscious mind, all of that is seeping in. And that's once again, we're careful of what we let in. So, yes, you can manifest the type of life, the peace that you want, but it is intentional. One has to be intentional about it. That power is within us. We only think we have those five senses when there's so much more. How can I tell you that I know if a patient is going to go bad? How can I tell you that there are times that I've even made suggestions to doctors with a woman who had the bleed in the brain and they thought that it was okay? Oh, we're going to give her some Xanax. We're going to send her home. We don't. No, there was so much more about it. And that's when you are really in tune with what God has given you. That's why in the workplace, and we all have a responsibility when there's so many things now, people have to be careful what they're saying. You have people that are spying on you and going to report you. How can anybody be at their best when all of this is going on? We are wired in such a way that when we are not focused, all sorts of things, right, can happen. I just flew a flight 14 hours. I need that pilot to be rested. Okay, those pilots, the captain and the co-pilot, we need them to be rested. Sometimes people get upset when a flight is canceled because after a while, sometimes, but the crew is here. No, they have timed out after a certain amount of hours. Some folks don't even know that behind the scene. So it's not everything that you want then and there. There's a time and place for everything. So I hope what I had to share has helped you and that you're able to come back to this. I've dropped some really good gems here, and there's a reason why I wanted to do that. I believe that we need to listen more. I believe that there is power in us being quiet. There's so much power in that. There is power in stillness. And that's why you'll know that I don't know. I'm delayed. I just need to wait a few more minutes. Oh, I'm not in a rush. Or no, I'm not taking the flight. Oh, I'm going to do something different. Then you can have the manifest the things in your life. What is it that you want? How can you make a difference? Not just in your life, but on this planet. We all can make a huge difference by us collectively being intentional of how we show up, what we say, and what it is that we do. This power has been given to us, to you and to me. And once again, it's not just about the materialistic things, because a lot of this too shall pass. And is how do I want to show up in such a time as this? How am I choosing to show up? And the moment that you say it, the moment that you're clear on it, you may want to waver, like, oh, well, maybe I do, maybe I don't. But then if you were to just stand firm on this thing, if you're able to stand firm on this thing, you will see the difference that you are able to make in your life and the lives of others. So, yeah, definitely. I just wanted to bring this to you. Hope that you found some value in it and that you'll able to come back and listen to the replay, you could drop a heart or just let me know what your thoughts are. I really appreciate you. And I'm thankful and grateful that we had this time together. So it's going to be on the live section, and I'll more than likely you'll see my Japan stuff. We're putting that in a playlist. You can go ahead and run that, support us. Always feel free. Thanks again for your thumbs up, super chats, whatever you want to do. Check out our membership. I'm really thankful and grateful that you're here. And until next time, I'll catch you. Take care now. Bye bye.